Emotional intelligence. If you're looking to get emotional intelligence training for your team, or that you've been told that you need to improve your emotional intelligence, what exactly does that mean and how easily can it be done? I'd like to take you through a bit of science that will basically help you to understand just how important it is, and then run you through a quick equation that will show you why you should consider doing a little bit more research about it. So, the science. The science of emotional intelligence started back pre-2000. I think Antonio Damasio was one of the leaders in this field, and more by accident than by volition. He was working with some of his clients, and one of these clients had the emotional region of his brain damaged, or their brain damaged, and what Damasio found out is that that person couldn't make decisions. So it was a real divergent time in terms of psychology and what we understood about decision making. So prior to this, we thought that our decisions were made with logic. And not with our feelings. And here were people that it was only the feeling aspect region of their brain that was damaged, and they couldn't make decisions. Where do we go from here? John Dylan Haynes is a person who in 2007 hooked some individuals up to MRI machines and basically took this concept further, because what he found out, and somewhat surprisingly so at the time, was that a computer, when hooked up to when hooked up to an individual's brain, could, by watching the emotional aspects of the brain, tell what decisions an individual is going to make before they actually made the decision.
That's very cool.
And it wasn't just immediately before they made the decision, it was up to 7 seconds before the individual actually landed on what they were going to say. The computer could predict what the outcome would be. So, yes, go on.
Well, you could describe that as, and some people do use this, it's like their gut knows, but often then they make a decision and it goes against their gut.
Yes. So someone who's emotionally intelligent, as this individual sitting next to me is, they can often tell that they already know the decision intuitively, so they just have to logically work it out. Whereas a thinker is nowhere near as aware of that. They actually think that they've logically made the decision. Reality is, you've made the decision based on feeling, and you're going to logically justify it over that 7 seconds. When we add this information to the concept of the iceberg in a Sydney University study, which basically says that it's just 3% of our thinking that's conscious. So it's a tip of the iceberg. 3% of our thinking is conscious, and 97% of our thinking is unconscious. It's massive, So that unconscious thinking is the more feeling-based, intuitive aspect of ourselves, and that conscious thinking is the self-chatter and the images that we can very consciously see and work through. Now, if we look at that in terms of an equation, if I was to grant and bestow upon you 100 points of intelligence, so I'm going to say, congratulations, you're 100 points intelligent. Well, what I know about that based on this Sydney University study is 3 points of that is conscious thinking-based intelligence. So it's your thought processes are 3% conscious, so that's 3 points that's conscious. 97 points, however, are based on your unconscious and feeling-based self. So 97 points of your intelligence are not consciously aware, you're not able to consciously access that. And you know this when I say, I'll ask you a question about which actor did this, or which musician sung this song, and you'll go, oh, I know that. So the conscious says, unconscious, can you tell me the answer? So we draw on that filing bank. So that's the feeling aspect of yourself. So you sort of got to feel in and find the answer. So when it comes to this, when we look at emotional intelligence, it can really help you to understand that. If I was to teach you to think better and double your ability to think, then what I would do is I'd double that 3 points from 3 to 6. So,
this is actually how we're used to learning.
Correct.
And in a lot of old education systems, it's learn new skills, think better, and then use your enhanced brain power to get ahead.
Correct, that enhanced conscious brain power. But if we just left the feeling aspect and you didn't know how to use with that unconscious feeling aspect of your intelligence with any more volition, then that would stay exactly the same. So your new intelligence level, after all the work that I did to double your conscious intelligence, would be 103 points. Well, it's an increase, but not that impressive.
Tiny.
If, however, I was to take an intelligent individual and say, you can keep your intelligence exactly as is, so the 3 points is going to stay the same, that conscious intelligence, but I'm going to double your ability to tap into that intuitive feeling aspect of yourself. Now, some people say, really, double the ability? I can tell you from experience that if we're working with a true thinker, we're going to more than double it. We're going to multiply it by 10, 100 times, because a lot of individuals, if I ask them how their body feels, they're like, what do you mean how my body feels? Like, I think about how I feel. I don't actually feel my body, yeah?
Yep.
So, but if we just doubled it, then that 97 points would go to 194 if we doubled your ability to access and work with that unconscious intelligence. So your new intelligence level would be 197.
And that's a conservative
Correct.
sum.
Equation,
yeah.
So what this conservative equation shows us is if it's 30 times more effective to teach and work with an individual's ability to notice how they feel and to work with that unconscious intelligence. And this is what emotional intelligence is all about. It's why corporate Australia has got lots of people doing mindfulness, which is useful because it starts to get you to ponder and to notice how you feel. But if you want to do far more than that, and if you want to work out how to logically work with how you feel. So you can, literally use levers within yourself so you can guide your thinking and feeling together so that they can synergistically work together, then I encourage you to look at more of our material. We've got 12 logical levers, and it's a framework that shows thinkers and feelers how to think and feel through life so you can actively increase your emotional intelligence.